Okay, well, a new poll commissioned by the Toronto Region Board of Transit shows a vast majority believe that the GTA is in a congestion crisis. Now, most also agreed that it's having a negative impact on the economy. 63% said traffic was creating problems for their own household, while 58% said that being stuck in traffic had recently made them late for work. The traffic headaches are even causing more than half of those surveyed to suggest that they are thinking about leaving the GTHA. Now, joining us now is Toronto Region Board of Trade President CEO Giles Gerson. Thanks for joining us here. Okay, personally, I think you don't even need a survey to know that something like this is an issue. But we ran down some of the issues that people have shared with you. And first of all, how did you get this information?
Well, people have been talking about congestion as a crisis for quite some time, but really since the pandemic. And we are we're obviously very interested in how business is doing. We're all about business growth and jobs and and the prosperity of the region. And so the slow recovery of the downtown core is an issue for us. So you start looking at what are the underlying issues, and congestion was turning out to be one of the big issues. And so people talk about a crisis. There's lots of crises, but we wanted to really get the numbers. Do people really think it is as bad as we are hearing? And the answer is absolutely, and maybe even more. When 85% of respondents say it's a crisis, and literally the same amount say, and it's hurting the economy, which is rare to hear. You don't often hear people say it's hurting the economy. You hear them say it hurts me, it hurts my family, or this or that. But actually have people say, no, I think it's hurting the economy. And people who, they want a prosperous economy here, and so they feel this is one of the issues that's holding us back. And and they're saying 60 odd percent, so 6 out of 10 are saying, I'm reluctant to go to work because I can't stand the grind of congestion. So those kinds of numbers are big. But as you said, and as you cited, when you've got also 55 or 54% saying, I'm contemplating leaving the region just because of congestion. I think it's probably a combination of housing and congestion. The two kind of go together. It makes people are moving out now more than they have been out of the downtown core and farther beyond, and then they're finding it really difficult to get back, and so that's made it, I think, a problem. But then 64%, so that bigger number, 18 to 35-year-olds saying they are contemplating moving. And we know we've already lost 220,000 people from the GTA over the last 2 years. Young families, by and large. So that's being picked up by the survey. Lots and lots of younger people saying, look, I can't stand this any longer. That's terrible. This is a brain drain for the city, which we can't really afford.
And it's not just the Gardiner. It's everywhere. No. We talked about it's construction and issues on arterial roads. It's the transit, and it seems like we're all, Olivia Chow and Jen talked about this last segment. It seems like the whole city is getting a facelift all at the same time. It's not staggered. It's transit. It's arterial roads. It's highways. They're all getting fixed at the same time, and we're stuck in the middle.
I think that's not a bad way to look at it. I mean, the city, or the region, grew by 2.5 million people over the last 20 years. We built very little new infrastructure, very little new transit, which we could have done. Like the Ontario line's being built now. People have talked about the Ontario line for decades. Nothing happened. So we're building it now. And you've got, and we built very few new roads, obviously. So, road services have remained more or less the same. Tens of thousands of more new cars, trucks, delivery vehicles with e-commerce, tons of delivery vehicles. So the roads have really clogged up. And in fact, there was a really interesting piece in the Star about 6 months ago that actually looked at travel times or travel speeds and pointed out that before COVID, the average speed in sort of on main roads during rush hour was 52 kilometers an hour. After COVID, or last year, 32 kilometers an hour. So
you could bike faster.
You could bike faster than that, and you do. Yeah. And so that just brings up the fact that people have really got much longer time for commutes, and it's really frustrating.
And it brings down the quality of life. So we understand, at least on the city level, they're meeting today talking about what they could do with the Gardiner, try to make it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Is that just one solution? Because we can complain as much as we want. What else needs to be done?
So we've pulled together at the Board of Trade a congestion task force. We've been at it for about 4 months now. We hope to produce an action plan for the city at the end of the year or early in the new year. Why? Why is it taking that long? Because it's quite a complex issue and there's a whole bunch of moving parts and they have to be integrated. There's no point just plucking one thing here. It's great if we can get 24/7 construction on the Gardiner. We've called for that. But the contract was let to the contractor without 24/7. Now they have to figure out how do we change all of that. That's not an easy thing to do. Planning is going to be really, really important. So going forward, planning these projects, we would love to see 24/7. We'd love to see deliveries of goods and products at nighttime. Now the city, I think, has an issue with that in terms of noise. But in New York City, that's when deliveries take place. Yep. Get those trucks off the road. So there's a whole bunch of things that could be done. You mentioned our major arteries, these big arterial roads we have. Well, they're often not that big even. Like I would call Yonge Street one, for example,
Massive.
Avenue. They're getting, they've got lots of traffic on them, but they're also getting used for a whole bunch of different things, like bike lanes.
Got a list of it all. Giles.
Parking.
I know.
Cafe TO.
We could be talking about this during the commercial break, which is happening right now. But Giles, thanks so much. We appreciate the survey. You know what? Doing it all night. If we can wake up at the crack of stupid, everyone else can as well to get it done.
You're right
all right.
about that.
Thanks so much. All right.